A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the first edition of the show for the week. Promised to be exciting as always. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
I'm Austin Okonakpan.
All right, a lot is happening as we speak. While we're on set, of course, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic are currently slugging it out at the quarterfinal stage of the, of course, French Open. We'll see what happened today. Carlos Alcaraz and Zverev gave us an entertaining encounter at the French Open. Coco Gauff as well did not disappoint. So we'll talk about all of that as we continue on the show. But of course, we will focus on the preparations of the Super Eagles of Nigeria as they play second friendly under new coach Jose Peseiro. We'll be talking about all of that as we move on the show. We will also be talking about football on the domestic scene, the Nigeria Professional Football League on the business end. We're going to be talking about it. And of course, we will also give our fans, our viewers, I beg your pardon, our viewers a slice of athletics. We'll talk about the preparations of Qatar for the World Cup. By the way, it's 174 days to go. We'll talk about all of that as we move on. We'll also catch up and talk about the CAF Champions League, all the drama surrounding the final of the Champions League. And also, hopefully, we will also have a conversation with the media officer of the Super Eagles as we get insights into the mood in the camp as they prepare for the big one. That's what we're going to be doing on the show tonight, Austin.
Yeah, and it's a loaded, packed up show. I was just smiling when you said the fans. Yeah, well, fans of the show, yeah. So you didn't say anything wrong, So it's loaded. The French Open. You guys, tennis fans, wanted to see Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic, and the tournament has given us just that. Alcaraz also, proving a point that everything he has achieved recently is no fluke. So the French Open will definitely get us talking. But at top of the discussion, I'm sure football fans will want to talk about what's going on with the Super Eagles under new coach Jose Peseiro. We saw the friendly game against Mexico. Not so bad, not. It just kind of like, reignites more hopes, for the Super Eagles. So let's see how they'll get better when they play Ecuador and then move on from there. So much to talk about. Hopefully when we get Babafemi Raji to join us on the show, he will, talk more. He's the media officer of the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, nobody needs to be told that we have to be patient. Well, let's just dive straight into it. Babafemi Raji is ready. The Super Eagles media officer is ready and he's with us. Babafemi Raji, thanks for taking our time to be with us on the show. I understand your schedule is very tight, but we appreciate the fact that you took time to speak to us. So once again, thank you for being with us on the show tonight.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good evening from this end. Thanks for having me.
All right. Let's just start by talking about the mood in the camp as we prepare for the second friendly under coach Jose Peseiro. We're also hearing about new arrivals, players. Of course, we're monitoring the Super Eagles Twitter handle. We also hear that Emmanuel Dennis is in camp. Of course, the fans, the viewers will also like to get updates about the injured players. Are they back in training? Just to get a feel of the mood on camp.
Well, things are going on well. We had Emmanuel Dennis join us late last night, early hours of this morning, and he had breakfast with us. And we were having a training session shortly. That's in about an hour, in about 2 hours. We're having a training session now to 6 p.m. here. I guess that should be 11 p.m. Back home in Nigeria. The guys are doing well. Ola, I know, remember he had a strain, a little sprain right there and could not train with us. I could not take part in the Mexico game. And the medics are still indeed checking him to make sure he's fine. Innocent Bonke as well is also being checked yesterday. Earlier today, he went to conduct further tests and scans on him. From all indication, looks good. Might be available for Thursday, still a 50-50 thing. So we still expect to see what happens. Otherwise, every other person here looks good to go for the game on Thursday against Ecuador.
All right, before I yield the floor to Austin, let's talk about bonding. You know, everything is new. Some players are new, the coaching crew, some of them working together for the first time. So how about bonding? Well, you may say early days yet, but I mean, the signs of how they're beginning to gel together.
It's been awesome. It's been wonderful. You know, one thing about human nature in life is when you meet for the first time, when you are new to a place, most times you are want to observe first, and not just observing. At the same time, you get close to get to know everyone well. And I think the bunch here we've been able to do that. Talking about the home lads who indeed joined the fray, and then we have the players that have always been there. The bonding has been very wonderful. Then the coaches has been awesome. You need to see the way Mr. Joseph Pesero plays not just the role of a head coach, but a father figure in the entire team. Wonderful the way he relates with his assistants, the way he relates with even his Nigerian assistants, the way he relates with us, members of the backroom staff, and not just that, even with the players, the way he relates with them is awesome. And most times I look at the particular attention he gives some of our domestic league players. It's amazing. When pick interest and then you do personal drills, the training routine is indeed very intense. The physical training routine is very intense, and there's a whole lot of bonding. You notice it. Basic rules that are there in camp that will entrench or enhance a proper team bonding. Our things is put in place. So I think so far so good. It's been awesome. It's been wonderful. Usually I don't refer to things that come from divine, but contrary to notorious reports about friction or whatever, you need to be in to know what's happening in. That's why if you have a problem in your tummy, you need to take something in to get in to fix it. When you are not in from outside, you would like they say, like they keep saying in Pigeon Palace, Belendo be show glass. You don't know what's happening in there. So right here, we resist any form of distraction because we see the good omen, the good things coming our way in terms of the preparation and the packaging, everything about it. That's why we don't want any form of distraction. We want to focus on the goal at the task. The task is to qualify for the AFCON. And like Mr. Joseph Pesero said, the task is to win the AFCON next year in Cote d'Ivoire. And the journey starts with these friendly matches, which are preparatory games. And then we take on Sierra Leone and Abuja, beat Sierra Leone. We go to Mauritius, get another 3 points again. That's 6 points in the bag. And then wait for September to take on Guinea-Bissau back-to-back. So it's a journey. We are restarting, and we call on Nigerians to support this restart process. We need everyone. See, we are the joy givers, and we want to keep giving the joy.
Okay, Baba Femi Raji, good to have you on the show. And for a minute, when you started throwing those parables, I was like, wait a minute, you're not radio. Calm down. When you said that, sometimes when you have something in your stomach, you need to take something in. Sometimes you maybe need to take something out. Wait a minute. Let's talk about the attitude of the players. Do they feel like the old football fans in Nigeria, something, particularly for not qualifying for the World Cup?
Yes, definitely. In fact, most times, there are different ways you react to setbacks, right? Like we've had conversations. All of us are yet to recover from it. But we can't dwell in the past. We can't dwell in a setback. It's just like someone that suffered heartbreak. They serve breakfast, and then you are still dwelling in it. Does that mean you won't fall in love again? You must fall in love. You must move on. And moving on means the best way to succeed in life is not dwell on your setbacks. You take the lessons, the positives from the setback, and then move on. We've moved on anyway. We expect everyone to move on with us too. And the players themselves have moved on. It's been, how will I put it, a torrid season. Let me share a little story with you. I think this should inspire everyone. Having a conversation with most players, they were like, this season has been somehow for us. So I'm talking about our players that got to finals of competitions. The likes of Joe Aribo, Leon, and And Calvin Bassey said, what a season it's been. Season that it didn't go well with the World Cup with us. It didn't go well with it didn't go well winning, So you can imagine, they are human beings too. They reflect on these things, gets to them as well. It gets to them. So you can imagine the same like Siri Desert talking about, oh God, was not part of this, we could not win the Conference League. It gets to them too. And that is why at this point in time, we need to help our players. They are the ones that will help us get the result. Mentally, psychologically, recover fast from this. We must recover from this so that we start getting the results. We have everything. We have everything at our disposal right now to recover from it. It wasn't a bad game against Mexico. If you truly watched that game,
I said so.
It wasn't a bad game. It was a
lot of positives.
Yeah, a lot of positives. Even the dynamics within the game, you could notice a lot of changes. The attitude of the players reacting to being one goal down. You could see a whole lot of difference. And the mental alertness, the mental toughness, tactical discipline. It was a different ball game. That's why we should give this project this chance to succeed.
That's right. New coach, new mentality in the camp of the Super Eagles, positives from the game against Mexico. What should we expect against Ecuador on Thursday?
A better blend. A better blend in terms of better understanding of what the coach wants. He made it clear. One thing about Mr. Pesero, he made what he wants to do clear, not only to the players, surprisingly to even members of the backroom staff. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to play. You understand? Made it clear. Possession of football, attack the ball in the middle, create opening from the flanks, pressure and pressure and pressure. In fact, he just wants good football. Knock the ball around, possess the ball. You soak up when it's time to soak up, know when to mount pressure, create space openings, know how to deal with little openings in the middle, attacking the middle. And really the players are getting to understand. I think they love it because if you are part of it, we'll get to Abuja and then we'll have 1 or 2 sessions open to the media. We'll get to see and experience this intensity. And then you will love the feel, the vibe in the team. The players love it because it makes you very alert. And you want to play that kind of pressure kind of game. So I think it's something we should be very optimistic and we expect more positives in the game against Ecuador.
That's what we want. Thank you so much, Babafemi Raji, for your time. I give our love to the team. No pressure. We're trying to move on also. But our football fans are already sending message that they must qualify for the AFCON. I'm sure they understand that they have to.
Yeah, we know that. And we want to not just qualify. We want to go and win the AFCON. But we know it's a step at a time. And we need the support of everybody. The support of everybody. We know Nigerians bank on us to remain happy. We know the joy we bring. We know what we're going through as a nation. And we know our role as a team in building the nation. So please bear with us. We will bring that joy back, the smile back to our faces.
We can't wait. Thank you so much, Babafemi Raji. All the best to you and the team. Thank
You're welcome.
you. So that's it. Media officer of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Babafemi Raji, speaking to us from the United States of America, New Jersey, to precise Nigeria. We will take on Ecuador on Thursday in an international friendly. They lost to Mexico. Pictures you can see right there. But Yemi, I mentioned it before Babafemi Raji came on, and he said it again. A lot of positives from this game against Mexico. You optimistic about the reign of Jose Pizarro?
You have to be. You have to be if you're a Nigerian. And I mean, one game is not enough to start, and of course, every new coach enjoys that bounce. The players want to sit up. They want to, they want to ensure that the coach has them in his plans. So we'll see what happens. But you don't need to be told that we have to be patient. I mean, we have to be patient. We've taken some decisions in times past that backfired. I mean, the decisions in the last 6 months hasn't been good. And, we're still licking our wounds. So we have to be patient. Then we'll see. Second game, we'll look at what happens. Of course, the qualifiers, we'll see friendly along the line. Then we'll see what happens. But then again, I agree with you. There were positive signs for the first game.
So, So we'll wait to see if our next guest will join us, but be free to be part of the conversation after seeing the game between Nigeria and Mexico. What's your take? Jose Pizarro and the vibes is giving already, the positivity. This young man, Cyril Dessers, there's always been call for him to come into the team, and fantastic header to give Nigeria the equalizer in that game. But Yemi, what level of consistency? Calvin Bassey, he keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the future is bright. The future is bright. We've not been lacking those players, but the cohesion and the consistency, those are the two things that we want to see from the Super Eagles. And I'm really hoping that we can get that under Pizarro. I'm really hoping that everybody will just work together, no interference. I mean, anything, like Baba Femi said, anything that could distract the teams, issues of officials going to see them ahead of big games, all of those things should stop. Issues of other people commenting about players other than the coach, that should stop. If you think there's a player of Nigerian descent that should be in the team, tell the coach, don't tell the media. Things like that. Everybody should know their place, and if everybody knows their place, things will go on. Things will go on fine. I mean, we've swallowed the bitter pill already, so we just have to let the process continue, and hopefully we'll get to that place where we want to be, and we see the Super Eagles dominate the world.
But I struggle so much to even blame the fans. This is their darling Super Eagles of Nigeria. This is the team that they always want to see. They always want them to win. They didn't qualify for the World Cup. Even the road to the AFCON, at some point they asked questions, went to the AFCON, didn't go the way the fans wanted it to go. So, yeah, I think a lot of persons are wounded. They just want to pick themselves back up, and the only way they can do that is to get this Super Eagles team to win again. So I'm just thinking it's going to be very difficult not to put them under pressure. But landing on the talk about pressure, Jose Pizarro is already talking about winning the AFCON. Isn't he putting himself under some pressure?
He is. I mean, that's the last thing you want to tell Nigerians. That's the last thing you want to tell Nigerians who are thirsty for success. That's the last thing you want to tell them. I mean, we've been taught to be cautiously optimistic. I mean, things have happened in the past that has made us very, very careful. A lot of us weren't surprised at what happened at the Nations Cup. Not very surprised at what happened with our failure to qualify for the World Cup. The signs were there. But the point is that things happened that raised our hope. Now, I mean, if Pizarro is listening, just do your job and let the job speak. It's good to be ambitious. You begin to say all of these things, and I understand. Like I said, even before the first game, I said some of the clips that I've seen, very energetic, man. I mean, it's good to see somebody like that on the touchline, very energetic,
good vibes.
Always gesticulating and all that, shows that he's in flow with the game. Nigerians love to see that. I don't want to mention names. There was a coach we had a while ago, let me just say maybe 20 years ago, that will see that all through, no matter what was happening to the Super Eagles. A lot of fans didn't like that, but now you have somebody who's a bit bubbly and all that. That's a good sign. But talks about winning this, winning that. I think we should just tone it down. Tone it down for now.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Yemi. But that's the sort of vibes he needs to bring into our country's football, because he understands that people are wounded, the expectations are high, people are disappointed, a lot of fans no longer believe in these guys, so he's the leader. And Babafemi Raji mentioned that he's like a father, so he needs to uplift people, and leadership. If you're leading and no one is following, then you're not leading. So he knows that he needs to carry everyone along now. It's a new job for him. So he wants to learn by putting himself into it and making sure that everyone understands the mission. So that's a good one, but I totally agree with you. Pizarro, don't put yourself under pressure. Don't pump the expectations, because these fans are wounded and they want so much from their darling Super Eagles. I think we should go on a break now. When we come back, we'll try and see if Joseph Atewa will be ready to join us. Let's just talk a bit about the Super Eagles before we get to the Nigeria Professional Football League. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Remember, you can be part of the conversation. You can send us a message on Twitter, channels_sports. We're talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yes, that's a conversation football fans don't really want to have these days, but come on, you know you still love the team. You know you love your Super Eagles, and they want to qualify for the next AFCON. To just say they're sorry for not qualifying for the World Cup. So let's hear from you. There's a new coach, Jose Pizarro, and they played a friendly game against Mexico. Mexico won 2-1, but we've said that we saw positives in it. So let's hear from you. Channels_sports on Twitter. What's your take on the new Super Eagles team under Jose Pizarro? Let's get our conversation going on Twitter. We're Channels_sports. Let's invite Joseph Atewa into the conversation now. Joseph, good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Yeah, it's always good to be on Sports Tonight, and of course, seeing you looking good, and of course, Yemi. I feel great joining you guys.
Awesome. I should have said welcome, Octopus Joseph Atewa. Did you predict Nigeria Mexico quickly? Let me hear what you said for that one. Did you predict any score?
Well, of course, I wasn't live on channel, but I did told the friend that Pesero was going to have a very difficult game. His chances of winning were very slim, so I predicted a draw, but unfortunately, they lost that game. But then it's justified. I believe we can build from that. But then after watching the first 45 minutes, one thing I noticed was that he's still trying to, get his rhythm, trying to build the team. And the second 45 minutes, see the introductions of the foreign players, talking about the NPFL players. I mean, they brought in fire. They were really good. They knew what they wanted. And it's just the first game. Maybe against Ecuador, we'll have a better game, but then still give him time. Of course, that is what we need at the moment. But after 90 minutes, I believe we had at least a fair game.
Sounds good. So with what you saw, what are you expecting in their next game against Ecuador?
Well, I want to see a better game. I really want to see the boys live up to the bill. I want to see them bring out a better performance. Nigerians are still pretty angry with them after failing to qualify for the World Cup. So every game at this point matters. Be the friendly, be the qualifiers, be the major tournament. You must bring in your A games, and that is what defines you as a big team in any of the continents. If you look at the Brazilian national team, the English, the Three Lions rather, the German national team, in every of the games they play, they always bring their A game regardless, be it friendly or whatever. And that is what I want to see with the Super Eagles. So against Ecuador, I want to see a better performance. I want to see something better than what we saw against Mexico.
We'll see. Thursday, that game will be played, and then we'll give a proper assessment of Jose Pizarro and his Super Eagles team after 2 matches. Let's get back to Lagos now, Yemi. Before we get into the Nigeria Professional Football League, Jose Pizarro, he commended the MPFL players. He said they gave it their all and that they were impressive. That's what we're talking about.
That was a good touch, a nice one, and Baba Femi alluded to that as well. He was trying to play a fatherly role to the guys. For once, it's good to have the feeling that we have a manager who probably won't ignore the guys on the domestic scene.
From the home
there are those who believe those guys are good enough to be in the Eagles. There are those who believe they are not good enough. I believe they've not been given a fair shake. Yeah. So let's put them there. Before you say they're very good, before you say they're not good, let's see them. And that's a good way. That's a good way to start. So if we see them, then the coach will be able to make up his mind. And let me just ask Joseph this before we move on. We're pressed for time, but Joseph, talking about the Super Eagles, talking about getting better, is there any player that you can think of, at the snap of your fingers, since we're talking about making this team better? Is there any player you can think of that is not in this current setup, or you think the best we have is what we currently parade?
Well, the problem is, if you look at the caliber of players we have at our disposal, these are the best of the best. When it comes to represent the biggest exports from the continent. And Cyril does, as an example, fits so well with Feyenoord. One of the best in even if you want there is no other player you want to
yeah.
For the last 7 years,
Okay.
Because this, to be honest, are not really consistent.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's move on the show. Let's quickly come to the Nigeria Professional Football League. Let's take a look at matches to be played on match. But I guess, okay, that's it on your screen. I wanted to say let's look at the standings first, but let's do it this way. Aqua United will take on match day 31 fixtures, just about 8 games to go. We'll take on MFM. Rangers International will take on Wiki Tories. Eimba will take on Sunshine Stars, and Gombe United will take on Heartland FC. Dinaze Millionaires. You have Casina United will take on Niger Tornadoes. Lobby Stars will take on Kwara United. Shooting Stars will take on Remo Stars. Naswa United will take on Abia Warriors. These are matches to be played on match day 31. And this one is what everybody is talking about. Rivers United taking on Plateau United. If Rivers United should win this game, they would, it's going to be 10 points between them and their closest rival for the title. That will be Plateau United. And a lot of people are saying that probably will be lights out if Rivers United are able to do that. And the chances of doing that, very high. They're playing at home. So we'll see what happens in there. All right, also, let me quickly come to you before I go back to Joseph. Interesting fixtures right there. You will be tempted to only want to talk about Rivers United, Plateau United. But even though there are other interesting matches to be played, and even while you're talking about it, you will also want to keep an eye on the situation report. That is the league standing as it is currently. And you look at that game, right, and you feel that if Rivers United should win that game, let's just crown them.
Yeah, even right after match day 30, I was on a group chat with some MPFL advocates, and the fact that they could beat Dakada, I said, give them the title. Just give them the title. They went away, showed good character, won that one, and gave them proper standing at the top of the league table. And look at it, Plateau United. They've also been decent. For Rivers United, the chances of dropping points in Port Harcourt or even losing is very low. And at the moment, they are on top of their game. Current form right now, Rivers United, they are on fire. So it's going to be a very difficult game for Plateau United. But we've also seen Plateau United step up to this sort of pressure previous seasons, and then, stun analysts. So cannot wait to see what will come out of that one, but it takes nothing out of the quality of Rivers United this season. They won the title, and I totally agree with you. If they beat Plateau United, give them the title. Yemi, remember, match day 30, I also said a team that needed to prove a point was Kano Pillars, and they went away, got that win, and look at where they are right there on the league table. If they win again on match day 31 against Dakada, then it shows that Kano Pillars are safe. And they needed to prove that there are no pushover. So that's the MPFL for you. It's so competitive that if you blink, you start asking questions. Joseph, when you look at this season, would you ever have thought that Plateau United would struggle? Did you think MFM would be where they are at the moment? Did you even think that Rare Monsters will get us talking even till this point?
Okay, look at the Nigeria Professional Football League. I want to say something. I'll come back to the question. I want to say, look at the trend. I think the only club to win professional football back to back 3 times in a row remain Kano Pillars. And that is because if you have, for example, I'm going to be very real here. If you have a governor who loves sport, that club will perform well. Look at Rivers United. The only club you will see travel for away games by air. And this is working for them. Comfort is there. Remo Stars, look at their new owner in Ijebu. You have Wi-Fi at the stadium. The players are motivated. Look at Plateau United. They won their first title for the first time in many years. That was some years ago. The players were motivated. So there's a problem. The players are very good. And that's the beauty of the Nigeria Professional Football League. But then they need more support. But coming back to this season, Rivers United have been explosive. They've been beautiful. Remo Stars, well, started like a house on fire. They're still looking good. on the table at the moment, but then, lost concentration at some point. And for MFM, the problem has always been, if you look at the last 2-3 seasons, they don't start the first half of the season well. They leave it late. But this time around, you have other teams catching up with them. So making it or surviving, of course, has been a problem because they left it too late. And that's the major problem. But right now, give it to Rivers United. They're looking good at the moment. And trust me, I believe they will slip that.
Okay.
So that's it in the league. Shout out to all the teams. They've given us good reasons to talk about our league football. And that's why we can see now that they're being called up to the Super Eagles and the coach is actually impressed. I mean, I don't know a league that is as competitive as the MPFL worldwide.
Yeah, and you just sometimes want to pinch yourself and imagine if we can just get the right things in place, get TV, play on nice pitches, encourage those players, paying their salaries. You're not going to have people going to Vietnam, going to India. It's not going to happen. And I mean, this is after match day 30, and it's still this interesting. Kudos to the players who give us all of this in spite of the things that they go through, in spite of the things we know they are going through, in spite of some of the things we know that we can't come on live TV to say. We just hope that it will be better because they are the key actors. Without these players, there is no Nigeria Professional Football League. They're the ones making it happen. They're the ones making us talk about them. So hopefully things will be better. Things will be better. And one of the things I'm also praying for, that we will be able to keep our best players here. And the only way we can do that is we pay them well enough to remain here. All right, guys, let's move on. While you guys were speaking, I was resisting the temptation to check out what's happening at the French Open. And I was able to catch a glimpse, and it's interesting. Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic, towards the end of the show, we'll do our best to talk about it. But I can just tell you for free that Rafael Nadal won the first set 6-2, second set. It's a battle right now. It's 3-2. Nadal leads. It looks like Djokovic is serving. But let's move on and talk about the CAF Champions League. Of course, a winner has emerged, but it's not without drama. It's not without drama. Moroccans are currently celebrating after Wydad Casablanca defeated Al Ahly of Egypt 2-0 to win the CAF Champions League title and complete a Moroccan double in Africa this season. Renaissance Bouquet, as you already know, won the CAF Confederation Cup, and they will face Wydad for the CAF Super Cup. It is the third time Wydad have conquered Africa after lifting the trophy in 92 and 2017. So, guys, let's talk about this a little. I don't know where you stand in the divide over this debate. Some saying the game should have been played in Morocco. They feel for Al Ahly, it felt like an away game, and some who would defend CAF will say that decision. Maybe I'll just go to Joseph. Your thoughts? Do you feel that Al Ahly, I mean, it was disadvantage to them playing on the home turf of the Moroccans? Where do you stand in the divide? Let me start with that quickly as we move on the show.
I'm going to say something that one thing that affected us as a continent, Africa, has been lack of preparation, lack of administration, planning ahead. The same thing happened in the CAF Confederations Cup. It was days or a week before the final, and we knew that the final was going to be played here in Nigeria, the Township Stadium in Akwa Ibom, and we knew days or I said a week before, and which is a major problem. Looking at the CAF Champions League in Europe, even I think the final for next season, when the calendars are released, we know where it will be played. This season was supposed to be played in Russia, if not for the invasion by Russia. Only if we prepare early. We don't do that in Africa. We like making late preparations, which has always affected us congratulations to Casablanca, the double on the continent. Moroccan team won the CAF Confederations Cup as well. But then, as I said, any preparation is a major problem in this continent. Africa as a whole. Because looking at the CAF Champions League, the biggest cup competition on the continent, and we're having issues even on the final day. So lack of preparation has always been a problem. So I do not believe it should have been played here or there. The match they won from the group stages, we should have known where the final would be played.
Okay, so case in point, you don't feel that Al Ahly have reasons to feel offended?
I don't think they have. I mean, it's a big competition. It's a Champions League. It's a big competition, a football club competition on the continent. All right. These are two teams coming to the best of the best of the leg. So wherever it is being played, we've seen teams in the UEFA Champions League, play on their home soil, their own country, and still lose. I can't remember the dates because I want to very short minutes, but I know there are teams that want to differences, but then at the end of the list still lose. So it doesn't matter. That is no excuse. Was the officiating? Yes, it was. So that's no excuse for me.
All right. Thank you very much, Joseph. Let me get to Austin. I don't know where he stands in this debate. I've heard a lot. I've read a lot. Some talked about officiating. Some talked about the choice, the venue of the final itself. And you could argue both ways and still make sense and still be logical. But it'd be interesting to get Austin's take. And Al Ahly, a lot of people predicted that Al Ahly was going to win, and some are pointing to the fact that it felt like, a one-legged final, but that was played away. I don't know if you feel that way as well.
So, these things we always come up, Yemi. Was it 2012? Bayern Munich lost the UEFA Champions League at the Allianz Arena to Chelsea. Can you remember? Mm-hmm. But it's just because in Africa, sometimes the way we roll out our preparations, the timeline of events, you just some way or the other start asking questions whether we don't plan or whether there are back tones or politics. I think that's where Al Ahly might be coming from, because we don't know what they know. But I think for Pizzo's team, it's just that they were not just lucky for the third time after winning the CAF Champions League back to back. If they had won, it would have been a beautiful story for them. But let's give it up to Wydad. They came out, to do the job, and they got the job done. Officiating will always be a problem. We are still debating what happened in the UEFA Champions League, whether that first goal that was scored by Real Madrid was a goal or not. Real Madrid already have the title, but people are still debating it. Was it really off? Was it supposed to be a goal? So officiating will not stop being an issue with football. But in Africa, what must set to ensure that we're very deliberate in our planning is to ensure that without any politics.
Sure. Hopefully all of that will be done. All right, guys, we're approaching the time where we normally go on a break. But before we do that, since Austin already talked about the UEFA Champions League, it's no longer news that Real Madrid won that final, defeated Liverpool by a lone goal. UEFA have released their own team of the season for that competition. In goal, Thibaut Courtois of Real Madrid. They've gone for 4-3-3 formation. Right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Antonio Rudiger in defense, Virgil van Dijk, and, of course, Andy Robertson making up the back four. You have Fabinho, you have Kevin De Bruyne, and Luka Modric, the three in the middle. And, of course, no surprise, Vinicius Jr. on the left, Karim Benzema in the middle, and Kylian Mbappe, of course, on the right. That's the team of the season. All right. I'm not sure many people can argue against this team. Very interesting team they've put up. And 4-3-3, very prominent these days. Almost all coaches go for this kind of formation. Joseph, I know you're still with me. What do you make of this team? I mean, we can't argue or for because it's always about personal opinion. But in your personal opinion, I mean, what do you have to say about this team UEFA has put out?
Well, of course, perfect team. You can agree less. Perfect team for well, the final. I want to say they denied Liverpool that I see. Real Madrid, Liverpool, even as a team made lost that match. Well, I think we were on of the midfield. For Liverpool, I did so well. I'm looking at Virgil van Dijk, another exceptional player. Luka Modric, the devil himself, for Real Madrid. Up front, you have Vinicius Junior. If not for him and Karim Benzema, where would Madrid be? Would they have won the title? That's $1 billion question. Kylian Mbappe, another exceptional player. No wonder he won the Player of the Season in the French League for the 3rd time in a row. This is a perfect team, and trust me, if this were the same good team, they'll win rather every title available on the continent.
Okay, all right. First, I usually don't do this, but I'll do this tonight. I love this team. I can't think of, and again, it's my personal opinion. I can't think of anybody that should be there that is not there. So, a very good team. Right there that UEFA has put up, but I do agree that you could argue for and against. You know, it's always personal opinion. All right, so that's the UEFA team. All right, I think it's only fair. Allow Austin to say, just say something about this team. Do you like it? Do you think somebody should be there? You know, as for me, I like the team. You know, as for me, I like the team.
I like the team too, but it is what it is. It is a team of stars, and but I would have put in either Mane or Salah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so that's fair enough. All right, let's move as fast as we can. Let's talk about Qatar, the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Like I said in my opening remarks, 174 days to go to the Mundial, and the organizers of the World Cup have been showcasing the facilities to the media. Of course, they're showing state-of-the-art facilities that the players, the fans, and everybody will have access to. And everything is going to be in the capital city. And it's going to be the first time a city that small will host the World Cup. And all of the stadiums will be in that city. And we're going to have over 1 million people come and watch the games. And people are talking about the logistics challenge. They're not talking about the facilities, they're talking about the logistics challenge if over 1 million people descend upon a city. So also, let me just quickly come to you. Do you think in terms of logistics it's going to be a challenge? It's just one city, but they are assuring us that, look, you're going to be able to go around easily. There's road network, there's shuttle bus, there's is it speed I've forgotten the name they call that train is very fast. I mean, a whole lot that's going to be available. But the Western media is saying there might be a logistic challenge. Knowing these people, do you think we might have that happen?
I passed through Doha right after the World Cup in Russia just to have a look. Can you hear me? As of 2018, right from the airport, you can feel that these guys are ready to host the World Cup. And look, this is what I'm talking about, deliberate planning. When they tell you that it's going to be just fine, it will be just fine. But you trust the media, particularly the Western media. When it is not from that region, we find a lot of reasons to ask questions to make, to in some way keep the local organizing committee on their feet that they need to put up a good competition. But come on, this is Qatar. And they said they want to spend money. They want to, redefine infrastructure when you talk about the World Cup. So I totally believe that when they say we'll be just fine, we'll be fine. When Russia hosted the World Cup, we also had concerns that Russia is such a big country. Are we going to move from Volgograd to St. Petersburg, from St. Petersburg to Moscow? And then just fine with their transport network. So, yes, let's just hope for the best. What we've seen, Qatar is ready to give us a once-in-a-life experience.
All right. Once-in-a-life experience at the World Cup is what Qatar is offering. All right, let's spend a few minutes we have left on the show to talk about the French Open. As we speak, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic are currently battling it out. It's the second set right now. And, of course, we're reminded of what happened at the last French Open, where Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic met. In this case, Rafael Nadal won the first set, and from that moment, everything changed. Will it be like that today? As we speak, is 3-2 Nadal in the second set. But, I mean, they've been battling over it to move away from that point. It's been one tie break after the other. And so that's the situation report right about now. So we see what happens. But quick one, Joseph, these two gladiators have not really had the best of preparations. Djokovic is a bit match rusty. Of course, he won't agree with you. And Nadal's battled injury. But those guys, when they play, expect at least 4 sets from both of them. At least.
Well, of course, this kind of game you want in the final of any major competition. Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic, massive players. And I want to say kudos to Novak Djokovic. Before he came right into limelight, Nadal had won, I think, 4, 5, or 6 titles, talking about Grand Slams here. And Novak Djokovic has nearly matched those records alongside Roger Federer. And I'm looking at the Rafael Nadal before the game. If you listen to him in his pre-match conference, he said, well, I've been battling a foot injury. I will play every game as if it's my last. Before the game, he also said that the game against Novak Djokovic, well, he would take it as the last game if he loses that game. But right now, he's still standing tall. I'm sure Novak Djokovic will push him to the wall. But then I still see Nadal as the king of clay, coming out tops of this one. But then kudos to these guys. Could have been the final, but then what a player.
Joseph Atero, I want to thank you for your time on the show. We really wish we had more time, but unfortunately that's how we have to wrap things up. But before we go, let's just quickly tell you, Alexander Zverev defeated, of course, the boy we're calling the Prince of Clay now, Carlos Alcaraz, in 4 sets, and he's through to the next round of the competition. Of course, we keep monitoring what's going on with Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. We'll give you that information in our subsequent news bulletins. All right, that's the show today. We do hope that you've enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. We'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
That's the show for me right here in London. I'm Austin Okonakpali, and everything you do, remember, talking sports right for now.